Hold on, folks, while I figure out how to turn this shit off.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I had layers going. There's a soundtrack in here. All right, now that the music is going, I say, yeah, hear me, hold on. This is your boy, Jose. And just like Adam Cole, we live, baby.
Oh
I said, hold on. And in the honor of the GOAT, Mella Mella, tonight's show is motherfucking money, baby. Kofi Kingston voice. What the fuck is up? YouTube, I said, you heard me. Hold on, though. Don't worry about not being able to see my eyes, because even if they wouldn't hit by this brim, the motherfuckers will be low anyways. I said, yeah. This your boy, Jose. Ain't lie, Hardano. And I'm here with the petty one. Tell him what's good, the petty. And of course, you know, I'm here with the straight checking, not here for the bullshit no more. The Don. Shining down, what you doing? The Don, like Hardano.
I said, "Hey Dondo, what up, YouTube?"
Oh, y'all both trying it. Nah,
And we are here to bring you the petty review. They hold on, no. So, I mean, y'all know what it is. We here for Backlash. Y'all read the titles at this point, so we know we ain't got to go through the formalities. As I lift up my brim so you can see one eye, just to know I'm giving you that good old rock look. People's eyebrow. I can't do the people's eyebrow, so I'm gonna close one eye and act like I'm doing it.
I quit already. See?
I told you I'm introing the show completely different tonight. So anyways, like I said, we are here. I'm gonna have to bring almost all entertainment, because if y'all watched the pay-per-view like we did, y'all was bored as fuck. So I'm here to try to make up for that. So without further ado, we're gonna jump right into that thing. And oddly enough, it's gonna be the pre-show. And oddly enough, now in hindsight, it's 2020, it probably is the most intriguing feud of the night, other than AJ and Knock Knock. So B, obviously anything that involves the boss, we lead with you. So would you like to cover the pre-show, if you remember what happened?
I mean, the boss said, you know, they had Bailey and Boss had a little confrontation backstage. And Bailey said she didn't lead the boss. And the boss said, you know what, bitch, fuck you. You're not getting my help. Long story short. And then hindsight. And the boss didn't come out and help her ass.
Well, okay, true. Truth be told, I mean, honestly, I feel like the match didn't really need a rating. I feel like we should talk more about the Bailey. I feel like we should spend the time on where is this Bailey and Boss thing going, more so than talk about Ruby Riott. Ruby, good job, Penguin. You always do pretty decent work in the ring. I like to hear what your voice sounds like at some point in time. Same thing with Sarah Logan. Even though Sarah Logan has the most charisma without being able to have a mic to her mouth. At first, I thought she was the worst, and now she's probably the best member of Riot Squad, honestly. Liv, I'm calling it now. Over under Liv Morgan ends up Alexa Bliss's Mickey James a la Trish Stratus storyline. That's where I see Liv Morgan's life ending up being, is a little empress or something, or empress. No, not empress. Imp, like small version. Imp, pun on words. Yeah. Empress. I see her being the small sidekick. If accidentally. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not done, sir. I was just working on the criteria.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm thinking that we're getting a slow ball. We're getting a very slow downhill roll of a snowball into a motherfucking, what do you call the big snowball? A snowman. We're getting a very small roll from a snowball to a snowman with this Sasha Bailey thing. It's like, like we already know, like the women's revolution, we don't like you have 4 top wrestlers. You have the 4 horsemen, or your 4 top wrestlers, and then you have Asuka, and then you got the rest of them. And I love you, Nia, but once again, you have the rest of them after the 4 horsemen. So you're taking 2 of your top wrestlers and just having them beat around the bush more habitually than Vince is beating around the bush would give Roman this goddamn universal title. Like, When are they gonna do something? Like we literally seen them beat each other up just to get in trouble backstage, and then now their rivalry has gone dry again. Like how do you have, like Sean says, how do you have a feud and you haven't even fought yet? But they're definitely feuding. But how do you have a feud without fighting? I don't know if I'm supposed to be looking at this as innovation, or if I'm looking at this like y'all motherfuckers is stupid as fuck. What is Raw doing? Because Raw's been making my head hurt for 2 days. I mean, for 2 weeks. I don't know what's. I don't. Yeah, everything leading up to GRR. I don't know what's been going on. I've been lost. I've been very confused. I feel. I feel like a thought that don't know her way. Like, what is going on? I don't know what to look for. I don't. I don't know what's going on Raw at all. SmackDown pretty much let me know what the fuck we're about to get ourselves into. Even with Samoa Joe beefing with Roman, you at least know that Joe is establishing himself as I'm going to be that problem. Raw, nobody has no clue what the fuck's going on other than Nicholas was a tag champ. Braun's with Bobby Lashley, but for some reason Nicholas was a better option. KO and Sammy are the new main event jobbers. Don't know how we got there with them. What are they? The leader of worlds. They're the tag champions, but yet the only tag match on the pay-per-view didn't involve a tag championship. We got Ember just floating around aimlessly. I would love to see her eclipse Mickey James again, just so Mickey could sell the hell out of it.
You going way back.
Right, way back. I mean, but that was the last time Raw made sense. Ever since GRR, I don't know what's going on. The night after WrestleMania is when Raw started and stopped making sense all in one breath. At least Raw kept going. At least SmackDown kept going. Like the Iconic, they cost Charlotte the title, and then they kept on coming out and messing with Charlotte. And then tonight they didn't show up. But at least we know on Tuesday they're probably going to blow down and have something slick to say. Oh, they were. They know what? They did have a promo. You're right. Correct. They had a promo. They didn't interfere, but they had a promo. So at least they've been involved. We've seen Iconic more than we've seen Asuka since she lost. We've seen Iconic more than Paige since she's got the goddamn GM job. Think about it. We have. No. We have though. Think about it. They got at least one extra week than we got Paige. At least. I just don't know what's going on. That's my thing. So the pre-show was kind of an embodiment of that. It was like, we don't know, just like you don't know. So go ahead and just watch this shit. And that's what I did.
My honorable mention right now. My honorable mention, and the petty one never has the honorable mention.
I know, right?
Let me just read this out there. I want an honorable mention. The late great Umaga.
Okay, now you could have saved that for a lot later in the show, but go ahead and explain.
That shit. No, Umaga, he got to be recognized.
Go ahead and explain.
If you don't know this man's work, you go back and you look at it. To me, he never had a good 5-star match, in my eyes, but he always had at least a 4.0 or 4.5-star match. And never been up to that caliber, just because he fought fucking John Cena. Sorry.
Look here, sir.
I'm sorry. John Cena is just trash to me. I'm sorry.
Sir, how did you get on Umaga and John Cena, sir? I'm just saying.
Umaga had some of his best matches with John Cena,
but we don't.
Never at that 5-star quality.
So how does that relate to this paper?
I'll say, how does that relate to? I'm trying to figure. No, I'm trying to figure out how does it relate to Bailey and Boss.
Oh, I was just talking on the pay-per-view and all.
So once again, let me reiterate how boring this pay-per-view was. The fact that this man had to completely bring up a honorable mention that had nothing to do with the pay-per-view at all, nor any of his participants. And he don't even like John Cena. I can vouch for that.
Thank you.
So that's where we're at tonight, folks. So I'm just telling you. Well, I'm gonna tell you now. Brace yourself.
Unlike everyone else here, I actually gave ratings to all the goddamn matches
Oh,
tonight
I got a
'cause I came
rating.
prepared to go to
I
my
got a rating.
fucking job.
I got a
I
rating for
didn't.
this match. I just didn't have anything to say about it. Oh, but so that's why I talked about
So,
the other shit. But the
okay. Oh,
rating,
okay.
my rating for the match itself between Ruby and Bailey got a star solely because Ruby and Bailey were in it. It didn't get a star because of anything else other than I like Bailey and I like Ruby. But what everything else around it and what they did in the ring doesn't get a goddamn thing. So the fact that you two were involved out of respect for the women's division, you get a star. Go on ahead. That's all I had
All
to
right.
say.
Well, I gave it 2 stars.
I mean, maybe you watch the technicality of it. I mean, it's not reasonable. I mean, it's not unreasonable. He pays attention to the numbers, you know, so he probably seen a lot more than we did as we was talking shit about what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was actually a pretty decent showing. Bailey actually definitely did some good technical wrestling for the match.
Of course, Bailey's not going to disappoint.
Yeah, and Ruby actually, like, yes, she did have some help from the Riot Squad. Let's not pretend that it was completely a clean win by any standard, but but for the most part, she did get the job done by herself. There was only a couple, I think there was 2 pretty big interferences. One where Sonya Deville hit Bailey in the face, and then another one where
not Sonya though.
Liv
That's Absolution.
Morgan. Oh no, you're right. What's her name?
Sarah.
See, there you go. Sarah Logan. There you go. See, I get their names mixed up because they're the same fucking person. God damn it.
Yeah, they did. They made the same group types.
They are literally. No, it's not even that. They're literally the same person. They are the bulky, butch-looking MMA fighter wrestler. Like that's their fucking typecast on both of them. So I'm sorry, I get your names mixed up.
He's not lying. One is Mexican and one is white. But it's alright.
I mean, but she's so light skinned. I never even knew she was Mexican. So there you go.
Hey, but there you go. You can't be racist because you're mixing up whites and Mexicans. It means not all races look alike to you.
Right.
Oh God.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, but yeah. So Sarah Logan hit Bailey, and then later on in the match, Liv Morgan actually like got up on the apron and distracted Bailey, and that's what actually caused Ruby Riott to be able to hit her finishing move and win the match. So I gave it 2 stars, also because I included the Sasha and the Bailey, like, whatever you want to call it, rivalry, whatever. I included that into the match because it was basically like a promo segment right before the match started. So yeah, 2 stars. Not great by any means, but it was you know, it wasn't the worst match of the night, which is sad to say.
I'm sorry. I had to piss and I didn't want to piss on camera, and my girlfriend was trying to fuck any people watching, and then it was because she was trying to have my, and I didn't want to get in trouble. I said, Jared.
I mean, okay. Well, just so you know, you cutting in and out a little bit. I don't know how far away you are from your TV, but.
Bet. What? Bigger. Turn it which way?
Babe wants the penis. Babe wants the penis. We ever had some penis?
No, that wasn't the conversation at all, sir.
Well,
yeah, right. That wasn't the conversation, and plus he got a petty review to do.
Right. The conversation was that I was having to take a piss, and the camera could see my bathroom, and my girlfriend kept opening the door. In the process of that, and I'm telling her like I'm on camera. Don't have my Johnson on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Completely reasonable request, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Because we are a rated R show, but that doesn't include nudity. We would have to.
That would take us up to that XXX.
Right, that would take us to triple X's, and we don't have the clearance for that, sir.
Right. I ain't got my top secret clearance for that yet.
Not yet.
We'd have to take it over from YouTube over to RedTube for that level.
I actually do have RedTube, but nonetheless.
Hey, wait a minute.
RedTube or YouTube Red, because they two different things, bro.
Oh, okay, well, I got YouTube Red, so yeah, two different.
Oh no, RedTube is literally the porn
Put the link
version
in the
of
bio.
YouTube.
Oh
Link in the
yeah,
bio.
yeah. I ain't even got. Okay, sir. Look, until they can't get into the bio until I get a check. Once I get a check, then anybody can. Then any of them motherfuckers get in the bio once I get that good old check.
Alright, I quit. I finished eating. I quit.
Okay, well, folks, since Sean, have you gave your rating yet?
Yeah, 2 stars.
We gave it a 2.
Okay, so finally, now that we've made it past the pre-show, time for the show. The show has started now, and of course, it opened up with possibly the best match of the night.
No, like once we finally got to it, that was the knocking that was the best match. But I'm trying to see up. I'm trying to set more smoke. I'm more smoke. But go ahead.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
possibly I was gonna fix myself, but since B already done spoiled it, if you didn't watch it, the second best match of the night, Mr. Burning Down himself, Rollins, and Mr. Real World himself, The Miz.
IC title.
IC title match. I'll go ahead and just jump off on this since IC is my favorite title ever. They did it all the justice in the world. It's if you know anything about this group or this,
to Sean.
they did. Just Sean, it wasn't they, it was Rollins. But nonetheless, the match did all the justice in the world for the IC title because, as we know, titles have become a lot less important.
My lighter.
I'm not even gonna act like I can say since when, but since I've been back having that belt.
Since about 2008, 2009.
So about 10,
that ballpark.
about 10 to 9 years ago, belts stopped meaning what they used to mean. Because back in the day, when you had the belt, you was the man, period. And it really didn't matter what belt. You just knew that the heavyweight champion was better than the IC champion. But the IC champion and the heavyweight champion were both better than everybody else on the roster. Nowadays, Braun Strowman is probably like the second best nigga on Raw, yet he's better than the well, not at the moment. The former IC champion and the current. Wait, what? Hold on, sir. Before we start the umaganess, he's better than the current Universal, the former IC. I mean, if he wanted to, honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if he was carrying the tag belts by himself. The Nicholas thing is what fucked the whole angle up. If he would have just won the bitches by himself, then that would have been more acceptable for me than having a 10-year-old have the belt.
Did he just take it back?
I mean, I'm putting everything into a context. Nonetheless,
I was just saying, okay.
Belts barely mean stuff. Like, honestly, do any of y'all care who is the U.S. champion at this point? And I ain't just asking. I'm not just asking the petty people. I'm asking the crowd too. When y'all watch this on the playback, do y'all do y'all care about the U.S.? Do y'all care whoever gets the U.S. title at this point? No, nobody cares for real. You care because Jeff has it. Did you care? Who had it before? Who did Jeff beat for the title?
Gender.
And who did he beat?
Randy Orton. Oh no, I'm sorry, Bobby Roode.
See, that's why you're lying, because it was Randy. There you go. Prove my point. You don't know what the hell going on with that belt. Just like the damn people that's watching this don't know what's going on with that belt.
Bobby Roode had that title.
And he lost to Randy.
Had it and lost it to Randy, and then Randy lost it to Jinder, and then Jinder lost it to Jeff.
And let's not forget, before he left the company, Zigzag won it for like a hot 5 days. Or my fault. For a hot
I'm so sorry.
20.
I got it together. Don't make me seem like I'm fucking I'm a noob.
But it ain't you being a noob. It's the fact that nobody gives a fuck about the U.S. title right now. Other than I don't know if it's Trump, if it's Hogan. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's the problem. But they not fucking with the U.S. title right now. It's almost irrelevant as bronze belt. And I mean, you put 2 stars in the title hunt. And nobody even cared when you got to watch. Who would have thought that a Randy Orton Jeff Hardy match would have meant nothing? if this would have been, 10 years ago, that match with those two for that title would have been probably when the knock knock match and knock knock and AJ match came on. It was the third match of the night, and most of us forgot it even was a match. Wait, are we already talking about this match?
Well, you kind of jumped the gun on
right,
that.
I'll say, why am I talking? How did I get to? How did I get here? How did I get?
Because you went from
Rollins.
Rollins
Okay.
and the Miz putting on a good performance and restoring dignity in the IC title. And then it went to the other titles not meaning anything.
Okay, I was wondering. I'm like, how did I get here? This is ridiculous. But okay, so what the real point is that Rollins and Miz actually went out there and made this. Trust and believe.
All of them waterfalls.
We'll get to that later. Thanks, Joe. But nonetheless, back to the IC. Rollins is on fire right now. He doesn't deserve to have the IC title. He should be walking around with that big licorice-looking belt, and the Universal title should be his. There's no, but it looks like a damn Twizzler. Am I supposed to not act like it is? That's what the damn Universal title looks like. If you don't want me to call it a Twizzler, Vince changed the belt.
It don't even look like a Twizzler. It looked like a Big Red, the knockoff brand.
Yeah, you know, right? Big Red, big Rose. We call it Big Rose. It was until then. That's what that belt is called. And until it goes on self shoulder, it's not gonna mean nothing. Like Braun is the man, but Braun don't need a belt to make Braun, because people just like to see him beat people up. Rollins, on the other hand, not only has he gone through a hour and something long gauntlet match, he's carried Miz through 2 pay-per-views now. Well, are we really considering GRR a pay-per-view? He's carried Miz through a pay-per-view and a network special. And then he's also come up with a brand new finisher for a ladder match that if there is a reason to watch the GRR, then it's for Rollins' finish to his ladder match. That is the #1 reason to watch that pay-per-view. If you don't know by now what the #2 reason is, go Google Titus World Slide, and you'll learn why else. Other than that,
what does that have to do with that?
But that's what I'm saying. Titus was #2. Rollins' finish was #1. You can blow up the rest of the pay-per-view.
This man
no pun
is
intended.
more all over the place than a girl with her first period right now. This man be bouncing around. He went from the IC title match to the US title to the world title to talking about Licorice and Big Rez to talking about the GRR and the ladder match to talking about World Slide. And we still on the first goddamn match of the night.
But what? Oh, damn. Look, okay, so we got our first comment of the night. And this pretty much, for the other people that aren't Don, I'm not even going to slaughter your last name, cuz. Don, any title changes, I will answer that for you in just a second. But his first question was, Backlash was tonight? Thank you, sir. That's basically how everybody felt as they were sitting in the damn stands thinking they was watching the GRR for the second time. Nobody knows what the fuck was going on tonight. So, was there any title changes?
No. The answer is no.
There
was no title changes.
There you go. I was going to make you wait so you made sure you watched the whole review, but they didn't. So go ahead and just drop a like for them answering your question.
But you should watch the review anyway, because we're gonna tell you what was good and bad about the matches, and that's more important than the end result. So you should watch it anyway. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Main event. Oh wait, okay. Shameless plug. But nonetheless, the best match of the night was the first match, and I need them to stop doing this. Stop putting the showstopper.
Stop putting. No. Let's clarify. It's not even that it was the first match. It's stop putting Seth Rollins in the first match of the night, because you fuck yourself every time.
There you go. But at the same time,
Seth Rollins
if we go all the way,
HBK, I'm just saying.
If we go all the way back to Mania, they've been putting the best show on first for a while, because Ricochet and them put on 5 stars.
I don't know. I don't know because when it comes to Mania, and to my eyes, and it
Yeah,
comes
everybody
to
used to Asuka and Charlotte, but
yeah,
that match
I
though,
mean,
that match in the beginning though was ridiculous. Asuka and
it
Charlotte
was
had a technical masterpiece. They put on a show
right.
that they didn't think women can put on, which Lil Rick, that's pretty much her MO at this point. Hold
And
on.
that's
I'm
what I'm
sorry, I'm reading the
saying.
comment. Don't lie,
Okay.
Reigns either though. Well, first of all, Roman actually didn't even go for a belt in this one. This was just a match between him and
Oh
Samoa
gosh.
Joe, since he
Oh
been
gosh. You talking
getting.
about Seth? Okay. Oh gosh.
Yeah, basically they beat.
Oh no,
Basically, he
never
got.
mind. Hold on, he actually he corrected his spelling. Don't like Raylan or don't like Reigns either though. You're not alone, my
Okay.
brother. I mean, I
Yeah,
have
you're
nothing
not
against
wrong.
Roman, but I will say I've joined the contingency that's tired of seeing his ass take matches from people who need to be in matches. Like for
And he
tonight,
was a Roman fan at first,
I was,
and he didn't understand
but
why we hated him
but
so much. He was
I
a
didn't.
fan.
I didn't. But when I started watching again, the Shield had just came back. So Roman people liked Roman. He was getting cheered and he was doing boss shit.
I didn't.
Now that he's been headlined the past four pay-per-views that I've been watching and yet to win a damn match, I'm starting to see how he's not too favorable. And the fact that he was winning all his matches before this is just flabbergasting to me because I ain't seen this man win shit other than the
That.
IC, other than the IC title, which once again, I guess I should finish my judgment on that match. Uh, it was probably one of the best matches of the night. Rollins did his thing. He definitely burnt it down. He made Miz look way better than he did, and Miz still came out looking like Naruto. It's been 4 months. Give up the WrestleMania gear. I'll let you go now, Sean.
You gonna give it a rating?
Oh, rating Rollins. I guess I could say Miz, but Rollins rating, uh, do I
Oh
call
my
it?
god.
Do I call 3.75? 3.75.
Oh my gosh.
It
And y'all
didn't.
talking about me?
It didn't get to 4 because of the Miz.
Oh my gosh.
Rather see Seth get the push or Samoa Joe. Absolutely, sir. Everybody in this chat can agree with you. We would most likely see either one of them get the push. Luckily, Joe is on SmackDown now, so he can get it. Oh, of course, but I mean that's NXT, my guy. You got to show up on a Wednesday for that conversation, or after, or come back on SummerSlam.
For
But
NXT pay per view.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
that
but
takeover.
Not
he's
Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank will be
oh,
before
Money in the
SummerSlam.
Bank. True shit, Money in the Bank. That's where we'll get the next takeover, Ryan. But he said Ciampa. Yeah, of course. I would love to see him go up against Alistair. Okay, sir. Let me stop because I'm in the point where I'll talk about anything right now. So go ahead and talk about this match, Sean.
Okay, I got you. I got you, battle buddy. So, Seth Rollins versus The Miz. Definitely one of the highlights of the night. Definitely, once again, Seth Rollins goes out and steals the show in the first match of the whole pay-per-view. Puts on a 30-minute match with The Miz for the IC title. Honestly, a really good match. I am very critical of The Miz because I think The Miz is weak. I think The Miz has a very limited repertoire, and I think The Miz basically gets over based purely on the fact that he can cut promos because his wrestling ability is not on par with other people. But I will give credit where credit is due. The Miz did have some nice counters in this match, or if it wasn't him, then Rollins made him look better than he was when transitioning moves. And he did go out there and wrestle for 30 minutes, which I made the joke earlier when we were watching it. That's probably the first time he's had a 30-minute marathon like that since he made his baby. So credit to The Miz where The Miz is due. He did go out and wrestle for 30 minutes, which, trust me, as a former high school wrestler, it is not as easy as it sounds. A 5-minute match is exhausting, so I can only imagine wrestling for 30 minutes, even if it's fake or whatever, it's still got to be pretty damn tiring. So credit to Miz on that. Obviously, Rollins, honestly, he's my top 3 favorite wrestlers right now, and like the other 2 people are injured, so he's basically my favorite wrestler that's actually active right now. I wholeheartedly believe he should be Universal Champion. I would love to see him do a IC versus Brock match for the titles for both of them and win and get Brock the fuck out of the company at this point because I'm tired of him being a baby back bitch. I know he just re-signed, but fuck Brock. I'm so sick of Brock. So Rollins is the fucking man. Burn it down all day, every day, and I gave it a 4 stars.
So, on a side note, before you go, B, Don hit us up with another comment. He said, off topic, I like to see Zigzag go versus The Miz in a match.
In a regular match, or like
Just-
what
just
kind of
period.
match?
I don't know. He just said,
horrible.
oh, sir, why is that horrible?
I actually think they could put on a good match.
I feel like they would put. I feel like they would put on a
because
crazy match.
Zigzag is similar to Seth Rollins because he's gonna put on.
Yeah,
he's gonna sell and put you over, and I actually think that they would have a good match for like the United States title. That would actually be pretty good,
But
especially if you put them in a ladder match, because everything's better with a ladder.
everything's better when you bring a ladder. But
Oh my god.
Zigzag is part of a tag team on Raw now, so probably won't be getting that anytime soon. Okay.
Yeah.
So B, did you have anything to say about the IC match?
Yes. I mean, I gave that match a 4.2.
Damn.
And,
Okay.
And the reason
You know
why
what?
is because
I
y'all-
think. Hold on. Pause. Real quick. Pause. For the question or for the comment, Zigzag doesn't get enough credit. I would agree with you.
True.
He's
True.
true.
No, untrue. Zigzag gets a lot of credit. The only place he doesn't get the credit from is the actual WWE
It's
booking.
creative.
Because everyone who is a fan has said that this man is the reincarnation of HBK for the last 10 years. So you can't say he's not getting credit because everyone appreciates what he does except the actual creative team when it comes to booking.
Say you're now. B. Do you have what is your stance on this
Y'all
match?
not giving Miz enough credit, and that's what I'm going to say. Y'all not giving Miz enough credit.
Okay, I didn't. I gave Miz credit. He carried the match to a 3.75.
Because the Miz actually feeds off of Seth
Right.
amazingly.
Okay,
He
but once
actually feeds
again,
off
but
of
that
Seth
leads
amazingly.
from Seth though.
But again, it's like Ric Flair said: if you can't have a match
All
by
right,
yourself, but don't have somebody else to counterpart you.
Sean
It's not
could.
gonna be a good match.
Sean did a few times. Sean was in there by his damn self. Brett was in there by himself
Like,
when he was
Like,
wrestling.
you can't have a good match if you just sit there by yourself. It just doesn't happen like that. You gotta feed off
Bret
your-
Hart had a
your
good
opponent.
match versus the British Bulldog, and he was high on crack, and he had to carry that nigga around the ring. I beg to differ.
Bret Hart had a good match with Yokozuna.
So once again,
Wait a minute,
I beg to
It's
differ.
my time. Y'all had your time. Y'all
Okay,
shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry,
So,
sir. I'm sorry.
I said what I said. I gave it a 4.2. Miz did his thing. He showed another side of himself tonight with the offense and the defense. Every time Seth went for something, Miz had a counter for it. And it was good. With the reversal, with the figure four, with the two skull crushing finales, until Miz hit him with the curve stomp. It was actually a good match, and I give Miz his props for it.
Well, I'll give you that. Miz did play his role correctly, but my question is, this is the real question though. I want you to answer this as truthfully and as OG as you possibly can. Literally had the better visual though. Miz or Rollins' outfit?
What the fuck that has to do with the match? It's their clothes.
No, not Miz's. I'm not Miz. I'm talking about Miz's performance versus Rollins' outfit, which was better. Cause I still got
So you want
outfit.
So you want to match the Miz
performance
versus
Seth's clothes.
Seth's outfit.
I think Seth won clean.
I'm not answering that. The fuck?
I think Seth won clean.
Compare the two.
Sean, do you feel like Seth won clean?
You asking about his performance, Miz performance versus Seth Rollins' ring gear.
Exactly.
Let's just think about that.
Which one did you care about? What did you care about more? I cared more about his Brainiac outfit than I cared about the Miz.
I cared about the moves. Fuck the outfit. I cared about the moves.
Okay, so that's still Seth Rollins, so we're going to relate that to his outfit. Therefore, you care more about Rollins. Therefore, we're all in consensus. Best match that happened.
No. You can't switch from outfits to move, bruh. You can't switch the outfit to move. Either you're gonna say Seth Rollins moves versus Seth Rollins moves versus the Miz moves, or their ring gear versus their ring gear.
Well, first off, we're not gonna do Seth versus Rollins moves because that's not a conversation. I mean, Seth versus Miz moves. That's not a conversation. Then when it comes to outfits, Miz came out looking like Naruto, and Rollins came out looking like a Brainiac. So that's a win. That's a win for Rollins and himself.
Sir, you just made me step away from the mic because I was about to die laughing so bad.
Look, I'm just saying, Miz. There's
comparing the Miz's performance to this man's outfit. I cannot stand you.
Right, and I'm trying to understand. Right.
I was entertained by both of them the same. That's all I'm trying to say. Seth's neon green and Miz's performance both got me the same excited level. That's all I'm saying.
Right, but that's not how it got me. That's not how it got me.
Well, I guess this is your portion of the show.
So you can't ask me that question and think I'm just going to go ahead and say, "Oh, Seth ring gear was better."
I didn't say I didn't expect you to. I just wanted to know which one you felt, because I feel like me and Sean both would pick Seth ring gear, so you'd be 2-on-1.
It doesn't matter. I still stand by what I said.
Well,
when it comes to that situation, the Miz did a better performance than Seth Rollins ring gear.
That's debatable, though. But nonetheless, it was. Nonetheless, let's say we have another comment. We have a comment. Best match that never happened: Stone Cold versus Randy Orton. I mean, just
that ain't no good match.
The stunner fact alone, I guess. That's just something that I would like to. That's something I would like to see, but I don't think it would be that good of a match. Now his wish match, Lesnar and Lashley, you're definitely getting that. If you don't get it by SummerSlam, you're getting it for Survivor Series. You're going to see Brock either destroy Bobby or Bobby give Brock vertigo before the end of the year. It's inevitable, indubitably. And I can say a bunch of other words that got that sound.
Which brings me to the vertigo needs to hurry up and get removed as his finishing move. Go back to something else because that shit ain't working as a finisher. But
yeah, so we'll cover that once we get to that match though, because we still haven't got past the first match. So we spent an hour and a half on we spent a half an hour on the first match and 7 minutes on Sasha and Bayley. I like the pace that we're on right now. Next match.
Nia versus Alexa for the women's championship.
Well, since it involves
a comedy show.
It involves a little Bliss, so of course we got to let the Don go first.
Well, I thought it was actually a pretty good match. I think that the other hosts of this show with me, my co-hosts, will probably focus on the comedy and that it was a joke more so than anything, but I actually felt like the match told a story, which was Alexa trying to overcome the dramatic size advantage of Nia, and Nia using her size advantage to basically toss Alexa around and show her who the dominant force in the match was. I think that Alexa, in my opinion, sold the hell out of Nia and made her look very good. This girl was getting tossed around the ring like a rag doll for a good 5 minutes. Like it was crazy. Like she just tossed her to one ring post, did a shoulder tackle in the corner, tossed her to the other ring post, did another shoulder tackle, tossed her to the next ring post, literally picked her up by one arm and one leg and flung her like she was a dead body going into the frickin' river.
Very disrespectful.
And very disrespectful. So they had poor Alexa taking bump after bump after bump. But then again, Nia was taking some hard bumps herself because Nia tried to get up on that top rope thinking she was Eddie Guerrero and got drop kicked in the knee off the damn turnbuckle and went all the way.
Alexa Bliss pushed her ass.
Same thing. Same goddamn thing, B.
She did get kicked in the knee off the buckle, though. She took like 3 bumps off the middle rope.
Later in the match. That was later in the match.
True.
Same damn thing. All right, she got pushed, Mr. Corrector. She got pushed off the turnbuckle and almost hit her damn face on the steel steps. Then Alexa DDT'd her onto the steel steps, and I mean, it was kind of comical trying to watch Alexa pick Nia up and throw her back in the ring. It was pretty great. But so yeah, that didn't work out too well for her. But then later on in the match, as they said, she also got kicked off the turnbuckle and took a pretty hard bump. So Nia took some hard bumps as well. The photo finish was Alexa tried to go up and do Twisted Bliss. Nia caught her ass and put her in the Samoan drop for the win. Nia retains. I gave the match 3.5 stars. I actually thought it was a very good match for both wrestlers and helped to further put both of them over in different ways. So that's my opinion of it.
All right.
B.
Okay, I gave it an A. Because I was just too busy laughing at the whole match, literally. And now I was just entertained by the comedy aspect of the match. I'm sorry. It was very, very comical to me, from start to finish. I give Alexa Bliss her credit, and y'all, everybody knows I can't stand a little short kind.
Oh Lord, the clutch pearls. This is a clutch to pearls moment, folks.
I will give her her props. She did her thing. But I just thought the shit was fucking hilarious. I couldn't give it a rating because I was too busy laughing at the whole goddamn match. The whole 25 minutes of the match, I was just laughing. And kudos to them too.
Right. So, me on the other hand, hold on. And first and foremost, shout out to Don because you're real active in the chat, and he said, "Home or
hit that like button, subscribe, hit that like button, bro."
That was my next thing, but he took care of that for me. But
okay.
Don said, the homie think I'm crazy for thinking Asuka is good looking. That was the comment I wanted to touch on. That
he said that they think he's crazy for thinking Asuka is good looking.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely not. She's beautiful, and I would smash her any day of the week. And
come through privilege.
Yeah, she I love everything about Asuka, and I've actually said that from the get-go. To be completely honest, I'm not like, I don't have like an Asian fetish or anything like that, but Asuka could get the tip any day of the week.
We heard your fetishes, alright. We already heard your fetishes.
Well, they didn't hear my fetishes, you fucking bastards.
Why
are you trying to put me on blast?
That's off-camera talk, sir. But nonetheless, so when I go to the Nia match, I mean, Sean pretty much recapped it pretty good for y'all. I mean, if you want to see a brutal female match that doesn't involve the boss,
brutal.
Oh no, it was brutal. But I'm saying if you want to see one that doesn't involve Sasha, then you watch tonight's match because
trying to single me out.
No, I'm saying Sasha has most of the matches in women's history that you look at it like, they fucked up. You know, like you got.
Okay. I'm just making sure you want to single me out. Okay.
Come on now,
so
you know how I rock with the boss.
When it comes. Sure you want to single me.
The SNOOPGDOGG's niece, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, if anything, it's a knock on. It's a knock on what some people call it on the WWE for the simple fact that Vince can't put a match together with women that look physically brutal if it doesn't involve Sasha Banks. That's more of a knock on him than anything else. But when you talk about this match tonight, I mean, Sean touched on everything that Alexa had to go through. I mean, we seen her get ragdoll before. That's not.
This is like a cat and mouse game with them too. I'm so sorry.
It was, but that's what made it so good. We all, I mean, honestly, who didn't see David and Goliath coming from the first attack? I mean, the first thing Bliss did was go at her knee. That was the first attack.
Tom and Jerry.
Okay, sir. Okay. Well, without the petty reference, but nonetheless, if you want to be kind, we can go with David and Goliath. But I mean, Tom and Jerry is more your speed than to go ahead and visual it as Tom and Jerry. But I mean, then again, in Tom and Jerry, Jerry usually wins. Jerry definitely didn't win in this match. But nonetheless, you know, you got to see Alexa very vulnerable. We're not used to seeing that. She was literally getting ragdolled. Like Sean said, there was one point where it was literally just she picked her up by her ankle and her wrist and threw her from one corner to the other and made it seem like she was going to Vader bomb on her. And we're all sitting there like, if Nia Nader, if she Vader bombs Bliss right now, none of us knew how to respond. We knew it was going to be ignorant, but none of us knew how our response was going to be. We just knew it was going to be very out of line. So good thing that didn't happen, but nonetheless, it was brutal a match. Like I can think of, I can think of a bunch of, like, just think of all the different spots that Bliss put on to take the bumps of, yeah, I'm getting thrown off the top turnbuckle over her back, and she's giving me whiplash. She's throwing me. She done tried to swanton me like 4 or 5 times. Let's not forget that she tried to hit the Eddie Guerrero, but she was just in the ring when she tried to hit a rolling swanton on Bliss's little ass. Like, if we talking about Sean might be close to 100 pounds more than me, Nia damn near 190 pounds more than Bliss, and she's trying to land on this woman. So, and that's not a jokey joke, that's just physics. That's not going to end well. Now, the fact that Bliss was able, they figured out a very good way. Like, let's be real, in men matches, when you have David versus Goliath, you don't get a lot of the David causing huge damage to Goliath. You get a lot of meticulous, I'm going to tear you down, chop down the big tree. It's David versus Goliath in the men's world. In this world, I feel like the women brought a brand new angle that it was like Nia was out there flying around. She flew off turnbuckles. She's getting, you know what I'm saying, she's getting her knees taken out. She's getting Lexus on her back. She's manipulating. Alexa Bliss is one of the most slipperiest motherfuckers in WWE right now. I'm talking about when you talking about Bruce Lee tells you to be like water. Bliss took that to heart. She was all over Nia. She climbed Nia like a fucking jungle gym tonight. I'm talking about she was going from swanton bombs to rear naked chokes seamlessly into DDTs, into arm bars. Like, it just looked like she was hanging on Nia like a piece of jewelry, and that's where most of the match took place. If the match lasted 20 minutes, 10 minutes of it was Bliss being not on the ground because she was circumnavigating Nia's body. Like, it was, I found that very impressive because I feel like I haven't seen that before. I don't know, maybe I'm missing out on something, but I don't remember too many brutes, men or women, just being able to be thrown around by somebody who can't physically throw them around. And Bliss did a good job of that. The comedy aspect of it, though, you know what I'm saying, most of the stuff I talked about wasn't comedy because I didn't just see it as a comedy match, even though it was hilarious. My favorite part of the match, when she tried to powerbomb Nia off the middle rope. Hilarious. And if she would have did that shit, please believe I'd still be screaming right now. But nonetheless, it didn't happen. So, but it was still one of the funnier attempts of Bliss of the night. I mean, it ended, I felt like maybe it kind of ended a little anticlimactic for her just scooping her up and finally hitting her with the Samoa drop. And I feel like at this point, almost kind of racist to have a Samoan do the Samoa drop, since you're just like, yeah, do the Samoa drop, you're Samoan. I don't know, but nonetheless, whatever. She did it, she won. It was a good match. Definitely way better than any of us gave it credit for, especially coming after Rollins, because we thought it was like, oh, they put the match on to let us go get a sandwich and restock on a beer or something, and actually they did their damn thing. So I gave the match a 3.49. It was almost a 3.5, almost. The only reason I did last tenth of a point
would have been higher if she had actually hit the fucking Vader bomb.
Yes, exactly. All she needed to do was some type of aerial. She would have jumped off the apron, frog splash, Vader bomb, moonsault, 450, whatever Nia would have did, then I would have had to go ahead and give her the uh the whatever and higher, but she didn't. She let nothing fly, so I couldn't give her the full rating. That's the year here.
All right, on to the next match.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Go ahead, because this
Jeff
is real.
Hardy versus Randy.
I'll take off on that one because it's very short for me. I gave the match a star. I'm disappointed in the legends, and the fact that the next segment was better just lets you know how terrible this match was. Go, y'all can go now.
Oh, well, I was cooking dinner. It started out a little slow, so I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna get up and start cooking dinner," and that's what I did. And I didn't give it no stars because I didn't watch it. I just heard it. I heard Swanton Bomb. I heard the music, and it was like, okay.
All right. Well, I gave the match 2 stars. It was one of the worst, not the worst, but one of the worst matches of the evening. Definitely disappointing from 2 guys that I personally have a lot of respect for how long they've been in the business and all of their accomplishments. I thought they were going to put on a much better performance. There were a small number of highlights.
Big up to Randy Orton for taking the whisper in the wind.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. There you go. There's where that's why I get to 2 stars over a 1 star, because Randy Orton actually didn't botch the whisper in the wind. So automatically that makes him better than Jinder in my book.
Automatically, there's a whole 10 years of evidence for that.
By default, that makes him better than Jinder. But if you don't get that joke, just go watch that title match, please. That was the worst botch I've ever seen. But anyway, that was the worst botch ever. But yeah, so there were a few highlights in the match. Like Jeff did a couple crazy jumps off of like the stairs and off the apron a couple times. Randy did his typical Randy stuff. He hit the DDT off the ropes. He hit his little power slam. He hit.
There
a couple
was no RKO.
moves.
Now that I think about it, huh?
Nope.
Yeah, there was no RKO in the match, and Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton, and yeah, Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton to keep the title. So, it was just a very, like, to be honest, it was just a slow and boring match. It wasn't a bad match. It was just boring, and when you're looking for a match to give you that extra it factor, it just didn't have it. It was just like, it would have been a good match on an episode of SmackDown. It just was. It didn't feel like a pay-per-view title match to me. So.
Alright.
On to match number 5, or are we going to talk about that dumbass segment?
Oh, we definitely gonna talk. We definitely gonna talk about that segment. If y'all ain't, I ain't gonna talk about it.
Christ, God damn it! All right.
Worldwide was in there. That's what it is, because
No,
Worldwide was in
exactly.
there. We have to leave
If y'all haven't learned by now, there was 2 things that happened at that damn Royal Rumble in Saudi Jonia that was worth talking about.
Saudi Jonia, really?
You're
Saudi
damn right.
Jonia.
Yes,
Okay.
because if you niggas don't know how to sit the fuck down, then I don't know how to say the name of your country. So until you learn how to sit the fuck down, then we'll worry about where the fuck you're from. Till then, sir, you're from Saudi Jonia, and bring your ass over here and try me, bruh. Until then, I ain't got time for it. So, nonetheless, the pay-per-view that was in Saudi Jonia, we had...
Yet another example of why this is the petty review, folks.
We had your boy get over in the best. That boy Titus World Slide got over in the most glorious way. Better than Zack Ryder, better than Rusev Day, better than anybody imaginable. He literally did a... What do you call this? I don't even know what you call it. He did a right...
It was literally like, if you remember a slip and slide when you was a kid and you would just run and slide and it was like a tarp with water on it. He did that under the ring when he was trying to go up for the Royal Rumble.
That doesn't even do it no justice. He Goldberg speared the apron and then
God.
turned into David Blaine and disappeared for 3.6 seconds, all in one motion.
Shut
That's
the
how
fuck up.
talented his entrance was. Honestly, if
Shut the
that was
fuck
his
up.
entrance, it would be the GOAT, like Mela. But other than, if you did
Oh
not
God.
know, if you did not know that that happened at the Royal Rumble, now you know. And after that, Titus has become the greatest manager in WWE history because who doesn't want to be with him? At that moment, he signed Titus Worldwide. I don't even know why I said that. That's how great he is now. That even when I think of other people, I have to say Titus Worldwide. But he signed No Way Jose, so you already know I'm there. If you don't realize what the hat says, that says Jose. I said you heard. So No Way Jose is part of Titus Worldwide now. So you like, oh, that's just another nobody, part of a nobody stable. But you lie, because you see tonight that they got to come out and make noise and didn't even need a match. You know who was the most recent superstar to come out and make noise and didn't need a match? Sasha Banks. She did it on the goddamn preview with the
Cause she
motherfucker
was
at
ratchet.
she did it on the preview show and she didn't even
She was
wrestle.
ratchet.
So that means Titus Worldwide is on the same level as the boss right now. And Titus is running with it. I'm telling you, they doing a good job. They got on the pay-per-view. When the last time you see Titus Worldwide on the pay-per-view? A real one, not a Saudi hot show. Tell me. Tell me.
Oh, that was the last one.
Exactly.
The one before WrestleMania, wasn't it?
When was that?
Did
Oh
they wrestle for
yeah.
the tag titles?
Yeah. Yeah.
When?
No, that's
No,
okay. Yeah,
they
yeah.
surely did not. That was Braun
That was
squashing the entire.
Fastlane.
No, they didn't fight that. They
Not
definitely did not fight
Fastlane.
that fast lane. Braun squashed all them on a Raw, so that way he can go fight with Nicholas. Titus hasn't been on a pay per
No, that
view
was no. This happened before the Nicholas
since.
situation.
That's
This
I
is
know.
before
That's what I'm
that, at the
saying.
pay-per-view.
That's what I'm saying. What pay per view though? Because they damn sure. When was Titus and
It was
Apollo
right.
in
Pretty
a
It
sure.
was
match?
at
I'm
the.
pretty
It was
sure it
right
was
at the Royal
Fastlane.
Rumble.
And what?
No, Fastlane was a SmackDown one. The Raw one was right at this Royal Rumble.
And what was
It was right
that?
Oh,
after the Royal Rumble.
And what was that?
Was that Elimination Chamber?
Yep,
No.
yep,
yeah,
yep.
it was
hmm
Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber.
And the
Yeah.
match
Okay.
and the match that they were in was
The
With
tag team
Sheamus and
title match
Cesaro.
against
verse.
Sheamus and Cesaro.
So
Right, and they
Titus
lost.
Worldwide went versus Sheamus and Cesaro at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it was a terrible match, and we said it sucked, and we didn't
Yeah.
understand
We
why
did a
Titus
review
Worldwide
on
was in
that.
the match.
Yeah, we did a review on that. Go back into the review. We did a review on that.
Where the fuck was I at? Well, nonetheless, that just lets you know. That just lets you know how irrelevant that Titus and them was before this moment. That this man did the greatest entrance of all time. So, anytime that man is on TV from here on out, him or the secretary, I'm gonna talk about it because y'all need to hear about it because Alpha Stove tables and worldwide slides, and that's what y'all need to know about. So we had a intermission, we had a halftime show when it wasn't Kid Rock, it wasn't Evanescence, and it wasn't that raspy ass nigga that sings Triple H's intro. It was Elias.
You so disrespectful.
What? I mean, what is it, band? It'll come to me in a
Talking
second.
about Elias. Because that's when Titus
Motorhead.
Worldwide came
That's
out.
who it is. Motorhead. I see. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't
Right.
Motorhead, but normally, normally you have to sing at least 7 entrances before you can perform at a show. Elias didn't need to do that. He just came out here. He's been selling out arenas all over the world, and Vince was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just let you headline Backlash, and that's what he did. But we didn't know that we were going to get.
So how did you skip over from Elias to go to Worldwide? And Elias was before Worldwide.
Because I had to give them the backstory of why we're talking
Okay.
about this segment in the first place.
You
It's
didn't
not
have to
because
give them the backstory.
I did though, because they have to understand.
didn't.
I'm not talking about Elias or No Way Jose or Breezango or who else ever Elias was talking to. I ain't talking about the New Jersey fans. I'm not talking about the Edge activator that Elias was wearing. I'm talking about Worldwide. And Worldwide himself was part of this celebration, and that's why it was worth watching. Now he didn't fall, but he did let you know that there's gonna be plenty more falls to come. And once again, when you see him, you're like, why is Titus on the pay-per-view? What the fuck is Dana and Apollo doing here? Why is no Jose in all lime green in a brand new outfit for a match that he's not to participate in? It's because he signed to Worldwide. And why? Because of World Slide. And why is World Slide so important? Because it's on the front of Braun's belt. And that's what you always need to remember.
I'll get the details about this tomorrow. I ain't gonna get the details about this tonight. I ain't got the energy.
So that was the halftime show. If you missed anything from this pay-per-view, go watch the halftime show because it's worth watching, especially if you like to do the merengue or the salsa. And there's always a Titus Worldwide appearance to be enjoyed. And don't always and never ever forget, Rumble, Stumble, Slide, do it like Worldwide. You can get them shirts on WWE.com right now. Vince, I need a check.
Come through with the plug, bitch. Okay.
Okay, we can y'all can go to the next match now. I did my piece. I spoke because I didn't have shit to say about the last match, and I damn sure don't got shit to say about this match. So if y'all want me to go first, let me know.
What's the next
You can
match?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Big
yeah.
Cass and Daniel Bryan.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
shit.
yeah, exactly.
I forgot about that.
So exactly. So if I'm gonna go ahead and knock this out the park real quick. Typical WWE, the only thing that wasn't typical about it is they let the small motherfucker squash the big nigga. Big Cass wasted his life coming back. He could have been injured for another 3 months for this match. I still don't understand what he was mad about other than the fact that he hates midgets and Daniel Bryan's not even a midget. So I'm still really confused about what the angle was here going on. I hate short people because I'm tall. My biggest attribute is that I'm tall. So I hate short niggas because y'all not tall. That's pretty much all I got from this match. Daniel Bryan still won. So that really threw me off because it's like, Vince, you acting completely different. You let a nigga who's not even 6 feet tall win. I'm not used to that type of shit if they're not a women. Like, honestly, Daniel Bryan should be the women's champion right now because that's the only way Vince sees him. So I don't understand how the fuck he beat Big Cass. And I know you're like, because Big Cass suck, but Big Cass fits the mold of the person who's supposed to get the push. So right now, it just seems like we're squashing all new talent for niggas who are established. And so that leads me to believe that Vince is literally out here recruiting niggas from the CFL to play for the XFL. It has nothing to do with what's going on in WWE. And I don't watch a lot of NXT. I know this nonsense that we got going on right now, other than Samoa Joe, isn't Hunter's work. So what the fuck is going on? Is Stephanie real out here calling shots? And Stephanie she feeling herself because she had a good match with Ronda and now she thinks she Vince. Whatever the fuck is going on, I need them to fix it and stop it and change it right now, because the way I felt, I just watched the night after WrestleMania. Like, that's what Backlash was. It was the Raw after WrestleMania, and now we finally get to see what's going to happen from here on out. I know they don't got shit to do with the Big Cass match, but this match basically summed that up for me. That the company don't know what the fuck they doing up until this point because they had a crazy month and a half of travel, and they're just giving us this shit because we're too stupid not to watch it. Yeah, that's where I'm at with whatever match we're talking about.
All right, B, you want to go? No, you don't. You got no opinion.
No
Not
opinion.
at all.
Oh, and I have to get this star 1.5.
I was
You
still
gave
cooking
him-
dinner.
Oh, okay. So you would NA for this match too. Okay. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. Oh man. Jose, you being generous, man. I
Oh,
gave
well,
this
damn.
match a half a star, 0.5.
I'll fuck ruthless. Shit.
This match was just a waste of my goddamn time. Like, first off, there was no real explanation to the storyline outside of Big Cass apparently hates little people. I guess because Daniel Bryan is short and that somehow reminds him of Enzo. Ooh, wait, we're not supposed to talk about Enzo.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Right,
Yeah.
that doesn't even make sense. Your partner was a midget. Well, then again, okay.
Well, but then
I'm sorry,
when he went
little
singles,
person.
he had a big feud with Enzo.
Little
and, yeah.
little person. Politically
Yeah.
correct.
So never forget, by the way, Big Cass actually was in an elimination chamber once upon a time.
Wow, that just blew my top off.
Yeah, for the world title, and then look how far he has fallen. This match was just
Then again,
a
look at
waste
the
of
boss.
time. Like, literally a waste of time. Like, basically, Big Cass beat up on him for 5 minutes, and then somehow Daniel Bryan locked in the yes lock, and Big Cass immediately tapped out like a pump. So, all I took out of the match with no real buildup of actual storytelling was pretty much Big Cass is big. Big Cass threw around the little guy. Daniel Bryan somehow overcame the odds. And once he got him in the submission, he tapped out because Big Cass is getting buried by Daniel Bryan, apparently. So I guess Daniel Bryan is the new Triple H, finally. He's come up in the world. But yeah, that's all I took out of the match, so we can move on.
Yes, Daniel Bryan done sold his soul for wins. That's pretty much what I got out of the match, too. He seen what happened to John Cena, and he was like, shit, I gotta keep winning, or I'm gonna lose my bitch. You
that
know,
was petty.
hey, you know it's true. Soon as Cena went on a 3-match losing streak, the bitch done broke up with him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
you're
gonna
not
say.
wrong. You're
First
not
time
wrong.
Cena ever lost 3 matches, he lost his damn wife. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So, all right, on to the next match. We got Carmella versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. You want to take lead since this has both your baby mamas?
Who, B or me?
Yeah, you.
No, I'll let y'all go first, cause you know we got to talk about this.
All right, you. All right, I'll take lead. I'll take lead on this one. All right, so I'm probably going to be the most critical of this match. I didn't really like it, to be completely honest. I thought that Carmella, she had some moments where she kind of did some things here or there, but overall it did feel like Charlotte was definitely carrying her. There was just some sloppy transitions, and it just looked like Mella was inexperienced, which is to be expected because Mella, to be completely honest, isn't very experienced in comparison to some of the other women wrestlers. But
Especially not the person she was in the ring with.
right, but I feel like if you're gonna be called up to be the champion, then you should be putting on a better performance than she did. Charlotte, for her credit, did a hell of a job as usual. Charlotte definitely is a fantastic athlete, but the chemistry of the match just felt off for me watching it. Like, I don't know if that's because their styles don't mesh well or what. Yeah, just I don't know. It was just, for me personally, it was not a very entertaining match. I gave it a 2 stars. So, B, how about you?
I was cooking. I didn't watch it.
Okay, good, because I'm pretty sure he had to say that, and that's why I prepared my review exactly how I prepared it for that match. So I'm going to do his, and I'm going to do mine. So, as I do mine as Jose, the critique who has to be fair and impartial, I will say I gave the match 3 stars. Didn't give it as bad as obviously other people did. I looked at it as, I feel like it's a double standard match. If men put this match on, then it would have got a lot more respect than it's going to get. from here on out, because we kind of seen the same slow starting grind out match between Roman Reigns and between Knock Knock and Shinsuke. I mean, between Knock Knock and AJ. And yes, Knock Knock and AJ deserve a lot more respect than these two, even though Lil Rick is phenomenal, but she's not the phenomenal one. And Mela is nowhere near Knock Knock. So yes, obviously you'll wait for Knock Knock and AJ to get going a lot more than you're going to wait for, and let's be real, you're waiting for Mela to get going. You know what Lil Rick can do. You know that Mela's going to be the one that needs to bring it. If not, at some point in the match, Lil Rick's going to start carrying her. And that's what happened from in-ring perspective. But nonetheless, if it would have been men, I don't think this match would have got as many critiques as it got. Because Mela was putting on good holds. B, are you asleep? Are you asleep, sir? But nonetheless, Mela put on good holds. There was, I mean, and her character work was going along with the weak holds. When she had a weak hold on, she was saying, "I'm got all night. I'll sit here until you tap out." And Charlotte was sitting there rolling her eyes like, "Bitch, this don't hurt. What is you talking about?" Like, you know what I'm saying? The story was there. So, you know, as an impartial wrestling fan who has to, you know, critique a match how it's supposed to be critiqued, I feel like,
I think that answers our question, by the way.
right, about how B felt about the match. Yeah, most definitely. But I think it was, you know, I gave it like, I probably gave it 3 stars, average match. You know, it didn't like as much as I thought I would have. I was looking at it and like I should miss. Maybe I should have been bored, but I think I was reading into it enough. Maybe I was overreading, but then again, I feel like overreading is reading enough for women. So I got it. I liked it enough to keep on seeing where this is going. I mean, maybe I'm biased because Iconic is involved, but nonetheless, I want to see. I want to see what's going to go. I definitely want to see what the next Color J Mellas come out with, but I also want to see what the match is going. Now, for B, the snoring motherfucker in the background at the moment, for his drunk ass, I'm going to do my review as a heel. And as a heel, this was a 5-star match. Mela is the GOAT. She went out there against one of the greatest wrestlers alive, and she put on a clinic. She showed you how to slow Lil Rick down. She showed you how to hold her and move. She got in her head. She was talking shit. You know what I'm saying? She's been in Lil Rick's head. Lil Rick, Asuka, the boss, Naya, the guys, they don't want no parts of what Mela Money has to offer right now. They scared the onesies, let alone what she can do in the ring. She lets them feel like she doesn't know what she's doing or that she's inexperienced, just so that she can swoop down on you, hit you with one of them super kicks, and let you feel the jump man. And when you feel that jump man, game over. How does she win the title? With one super kick, game over. Mela is money, and when she moonwalks, you know that it's time to get your ass up and walk to the moon, because you'll never be champion again until Money Mela decides that she's going to hang it up like Jordan wearing the 4-5. I said, yeah, hear it. 5 stars. Long live Mela Mela. Mute the sleeping one. Yeah, I could, but since I have control of the broadcast, I can always mute him. But yes, Mela Mela, the GOAT, Bron James of this women's wrestling thing.
Oh my God, I cannot stand you. All right. On to more serious topics. Next match is AJ Styles versus Nakamura, no DQ match for the title. For the WWE title. I should specify.
No DQ match.
No DQ match is the emphasis of this one. You want to take lead since it's your boy Knock Knock, or I can take lead? I'm not even gonna ask B since he's a non-factor at this point.
Yeah. speak no English. What up, Philly DJ Hook? I said, yeah, here. Sup, bruh? You know how we do out here on this petty review. Hold on, no. But okay. So I'm gonna take lead. Definitely. Nah. Okay. So once again, just to piggyback off of what the heel Jose said about Mella Mella, their match was slow starting, and the two of them made people be smart fans. They made people be respectful and let them build up to what they're going to do. And the match was the best match of the night. It was better than Rollins and Miz. I mean, the ending, but honestly, like as me being impartial, I know it's going to set the end. If I go on Twitter right now, I guarantee I could find 3 or 4 tweets that would be ridiculous reactions to how that match ended. If you want me to see me do that, go ahead and drop some birds in the chat or something like that. If I see 3 or 4 birds, I'll go ahead and check Twitter. But if I look on Twitter right now, I'm going to see people bitching about that ending. I actually like the ending because I feel like maybe I'm like one of my friend Sam, who just overthinks things too much. And maybe I'm overthinking, maybe I'm giving Vince too much credit, maybe I'm giving creative too credit, but I'm starting to see a huge storyline here. They're dangling the carrot in front of us. They're giving us this idea of a dream match, and we're just so thirsty for it. When we thought it was going to be AJ and Knock Knock at WrestleMania, and you notice that they never headline, and it seems like every time they're on the card, they drop down the card, second to last, third to last, fourth to last. They just keep dropping their status of this match, and I feel like all these disqualifications and the matches ended early, and all this bullshit is going to lead us to finally at SummerSlam giving us that damn New Japan match on the grandest stage that we can see it on, and I will be all for it. But this match itself, I liked it. It was strong. It was strong style. If you don't know what that means, watch this match. And I can't even say it was watered down strong style. It was as strong style as you can do on a PG television program. Like the no DQ allowed them to do so, but Knock Knock just stepping on AJ's head, pushing him out the way. There's 4 nut shots, 2 of them are just full blown kicks. The chair spot, the fucking chair spot. It was so simplistic, but it was so crazy. And then the accidental botch of it just made it so much more luscious that it's just like, really? Like, this is what happens on Backlash, not Mania, not the greatest Royal Rumble worldwide voice. It's Backlash. Backlash? That's where we got the most complete AJ Styles and Nakamura match that we've seen in WWE so far. Is that Backlash? This hokey doke pay-per-view, the fact that the only reason that this isn't the worst pay-per-view of the year so far is because the Grand Royal Rumble happened, and most of us consider that a house show. So now that depending on how you feel, if you want to give it credit as the greatest Royal Rumble as a pay-per-view, then it's going to be the worst one all year long. But if you don't, then as of right now, where we're at in May, it's gotta be Backlash. And I don't think it's Backlash's fault, and I'm pretty sure me and Don will touch on that after he gets his part at the end of the main event, because there's a big reason for why this pay-per-view is boo-boo that had nothing wrestlers, and honestly almost really didn't, it sound as dumb as this is going to sound, it didn't have as much to do with creative as you would think. It just, timing was awful, but we'll get to that. But when it comes to these two, best match of the night. What did I give Rollins and them? 3.75. So I got to give this match like a 4.1. Like, this was a good match in the midst of a bunch of fuckery, and they're building, even though and for it to end like it did, I'm nowhere near mad or disappointed. It's building. This is long-term booking. Like maybe we're just, put it this way, either WWE is as shitty as we say it is, or these motherfuckers really are as so good that they make us think that they give us this garbage on accident because they think this is good, when really it's these 4 or 5 long-term booking joints that happen over the time of the year. The Oscars, the Little Rick if she beats Ronda Rousey at Mania next year, the Knock Knock and AJ thing, the Braun Strowman saga, all this stuff. Nia and Bliss. What if Nia and Bliss had been going on since they were best friends the first time? Like, we don't know. We just assume that these niggas are idiots and don't know what they're doing because we're not happy with show by show. But what if this was like a comic and we really could go back and see that, oh, these niggas really knew what the fuck they were doing the entire time. And they had us so worked that it was really 5 storylines every 5 years were the big topic. The other shit, like this Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar and Roman shit, is to make us mad and make us think that they're idiots. But really, the Little Rick becoming Brock Lesnar that we love, or Roman Reigns that we love, and Knock Knock becoming the heel champion that we've been craving since HBK got the belt before he lost it to Austin. Like, what if we, you know what I'm saying, what if they're really ahead of us? What if we not as smart fans as we think we are? That's all I'm saying. That's what this pay-per-view makes the devil advocate in me see, or makes the devil advocate in me think, because that's how good this AJ and Knock Knock match was. That I can believe that this is long-term booking at its finest, beyond just you keep giving us dumbass matches here, or dumbass endings, because them two don't put on dumbass matches. So just endings that we're not thrilled about. But what if it's all just a huge booking? What if it's one big work? When a match can make you think that, did its job.
We actually brought that up with the completely different subject, but with NXT, we brought that up. What if they had been planning him going to the Undisputed Era since War Games, when he turned them down. For that War Games match?
Bet.
And then that was all part of a long con to have him join the Undisputed Era way later.
That none of us see coming, because that was a heel turn for the ages. Roderick Strong, shout out to Undisputed Era, Roderick Strong and Hunter and Pete Dunne, everybody involved in that heel turn, because still to right now, this year, that's the heel turn of the year right there.
That's the moment of the year that nobody saw coming.
No, yeah, they worked our asses on that one, sure enough.
So, you done?
Yeah, I'm done on that though. I gave that 4.1. I'm very invested. I'm very invested though.
All right. I'm gonna say best match of the night. Best match of actually, I thought it was a great match, and I'm not at all disappointed in the ending because I understand the purpose that it holds. As Jose said, you have to think outside the immediate results, the implications of the results. So the match at WrestleMania, AJ wins, but then Nakamura low blows him to set up the heel turn, which then leads to their match at GRR, which ends in a DQ. So now we have a no DQ match. Well, how does this end? In a double count out, because they both low blow each other so hard that they can't answer the 10 count of the referee, and it ends as a draw basically. So now what do they do next? Well, now they have to do something where it's no DQ and no count outs to find this final resolution. Whether that's going to be at Money in the Bank, or maybe they prolong it until SummerSlam, who knows? But basically it means we're going to get another match. And the thing about Nakamura and AJ Styles is every match they've done, they've elevated their performance, even though they've had what are considered, quote, disappointing endings. So that only means that the next match is going to be even more entertaining, in my opinion. At least I hope so, and I assume so. So that's just how I look at it. I thought the match was great. As Jose said, definitely like the epitome of strong style from both competitors, Nakamura and AJ. They were stiff, and I know some people don't like it, especially if they're limited in their exposure to mainly WWE and they don't have a lot of outside exposure to other companies. I actually prefer stiff matches because it makes it more believable. And so any match where you have like that strong style aspect to me is more enjoyable because it feels more realistic, even though we know it's still quote fake and scripted. It feels more believable when you have people doing stiffer moves. There was just a ton of spots in this match. I mean, from Nakamura jumping on the back of AJ's head, like off the apron.
A couple times.
Numerous times where he was just literally stomping on the back of AJ's head. AJ had some moments where he was getting physical.
That phenomenal elbow that from the apron, or the in-ring phenomenal elbow to the back of the head.
Right, phenomenal elbow to the back of Nakamura's head. It was just a lot of hard-hitting action, definitely very enjoyable. And I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind the finish ending in a double count-out because it means we're going to get another match now to get some type of resolution to this whole rivalry. So I gave the match a 4.5 stars, and yeah, I highly recommend watching it. It's definitely one of the bright spots of the pay-per-view card.
I mean, yeah, it's the best match on the pay-per-view, and just to tag on more than I said already before, I believe that this is me. If I had to predict what's going to happen, I'm looking at it as we get the Money in the Bank now. Just the fact that I'm on my shit right now, I'm going to give you two scenarios. How I think is really going to happen, I think they'll go there, they'll have a match, whatever the stipulation is, they'll figure out a way to fuck that match up too, or maybe they'll even like let a third party get involved, just be enough involved to fuck the match up, because they're not going to give us the finale then, because at the end of the day, I know Vince, I know the company enough to know they're not going to stretch it a year. They don't invest in things that much because there's still other people on that roster that they're going to want to get into that shot before the end of the year. But if they're going to take this thing on the head and they're going to ride it out, it's going to go to fruition. Now, stretching it would be to try to have it at Survivor Series, which that's like, to me, out of the big five now, that's probably number 5. Or if you still take the traditional big 4, that's number 4. Survivor Series is probably the least interesting pay-per-view out of all the big pay-per-views of the year, just because that match for a long time it means less than tag titles. So it is what it is. I mean, the SmackDown and Raw thing brings you a little bit of an extra aspect, but now that it's co-mingling and everything anyways, that's not going to really matter. So they better off getting rid of Survivor Series and bringing back King of the Ring, in my opinion. But when you have Money in the Bank, why do you need King of the Ring? So I would say I feel like it's going to, whatever happens at Money in the Bank, whatever the stipulation is, they'll figure out a way to fuck that up too as well. And then they're going to ride that out. SummerSlam, we're going to get the match. I agree with the Don. I don't think he actually said this to y'all, but off mic he said it's going to end up in a Hell in a Cell. I wholeheartedly agree it ends up in a Hell in a Cell. And I honestly don't want it to end up in a Hell in a Cell because I like AJ and Nakamura, and I don't want any one of them to die for my entertainment. But if you put them two niggas in a Hell in a Cell, let me pull my hat up so you can see at least a half of one of my eyes. You put them two motherfuckers in the Hell in a Cell, over under, somebody's not going to be able to wrestle for 6 months afterwards.
Man, they had a no DQ match and AJ got busted open on accident. I can only imagine what's going to happen in a Hell in a Cell.
In a Hell in a Cell. So I feel like that's what, now me being the mad scientist I am, if I was doing it, I would let Nakamura win Money in the Bank. Like, you know how he's on his whole kick, like, I don't need you to save me, AJ. And since he's already a heel, I would have, like, Money in the Bank is coming up. They just had a double DQ. I would have Nakamura cut some fire promo, or at least make him some type of fire montage that it would
No speak English.
yeah, something that would insinuate that, like, make you believe that maybe he's not going after the title for a second, and then I would bring somebody else into the picture that, you know, just give him a false person, you know, somebody that's interesting. Maybe I would hate to do it to Joe, but you know, if it's Vince, he would do it to Joe. Step in, take some shots, let AJ look strong again. Like, AJ don't look weak by no means. But just to, and this series is not monotonous, but just to throw a little bit of the swerve, let AJ and Joe end up with a match at Money in the Bank, but Knock Knock is in the Money in the Bank match. AJ of course wins Knock Money in the Bank, and then the night of Money in the Bank, you know, AJ Knock Knock gets his suitcase and he opens it up, and then JoJo comes in and she brings the mic and she puts it to Knock Knock, and he like, speak no English, and then she's like, well, what are you trying to say by opening your suitcase tonight? And then he just say how he did at Royal Rumble, AJ Styles, and then they really give us the fucking crazy match at fucking SummerSlam and go bonkers. And it would just add to Knock Knock's sadisticness of, I'm gonna win Money in the Bank just to give y'all the shit that y'all know I was gonna do. Because if y'all get this match and y'all could try to cash it on me, that's not gonna happen. When I beat AJ, I'm keeping this belt, my nigga. I would love to see that. That's what my twisted brain would do. But
oh, and don't forget, it's got to be a ladder inside a Hell in a Cell match.
oh yeah, they ain't ready for that yet. Y'all ain't ready for that. The Hell in a Cell inside the ladder, we gonna get y'all hit. We gonna show y'all how alphas roll. Just go watch Jericho go take on Naito, and after that match, come back and ask us, what is the alpha? And we gonna explain it to you. Bring a ladder and a table
and a barricade.
Oh yeah. And don't be surprised if the referee's son ends up in the lion tamer.
Don't be surprised at all. Oh man! All right, so on to the next match.
It's fun.
Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
You can go ahead and take lead on this because I ain't got much to say about it.
I mean, basically just a squash match. Like,
I was
they
right.
did get a little bit of, they did get a little offense in on Bobby before he made the tag to Braun, so I'll give him credit for that. Sammy and Kevin did a good job of trying to keep him separated from Braun to play the tag team angle. Did Owens hit a super kick in the match? I can't remember if he actually did. I don't think he did.
Bro, they did 3 things of offense, and I jokingly said in the beginning of the match, over under, they don't do any offense. They got like 3 spots of offense. That was it.
Yeah, it was pretty much a squash.
Everything else was comedic. All their offense was comedic.
Yeah, we made the joke actually that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have become the jobbers of the main roster. They just don't know it yet. So
they're
the
main event. They're the main event jobbers.
Right. The main event jobbers.
And they've been doing this since SmackDown. They haven't won a match in a long time. That hasn't involved them beating each other. But now I will say, they did. I do like it. It kind of dragged, but they did get the point across that eventually we're gonna get a heel face distinction between Sammy and KO, which obviously probably will be heel and Sammy will probably go face, but we're going to get them to split up and become main parts of the Raw roster as singles acts. They're not going to stay part of it. And then same thing with Lashley, obviously. Like, this whole thing was we are, well, once again, I'll save that conversation for the end of the night, but this whole match to me screams what I feel about this whole pay-per-view and everything that's happened since Mania. But me, in detail of it all, what was your stars on there, bro?
I gave it a 2 stars.
2 stars.
I gave it a 2 stars because of Braun's greatness.
Right. I gave it Yeah, I can't give it no more than 2 stars and not be respectable. So, I mean, 2 stars because of Braun a lot. Bobby Lashley right now. Look, anybody, the three, we got some live watchers right now. All y'all watching right now, go ahead and hit that like. But while you do that, remember this right now because we got Money in the Bank next. That'll be the next petty review. At Money in the Bank, if we don't hear Bobby Lashley talk, I want everybody that's watching this by the end of that pay-per-view to remember this moment and take a drink for that. Because Bobby Lashley hasn't said a word since he stepped back in WWE. Not a single mother. He ain't said, I want a match. He ain't nothing. He just come out and smile, take his headband off. If you have a headband on, it's supposed to catch your sweat. Why you take it off before the match and put it on after the match? The sweat hasn't started and it's gone by the time you wear it. I'm just pointing that out. But nonetheless, maybe you think you look like a Ninja Turtle with it on. But back again, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to say that, but hey, it is what it is. I feel all of them two being all of them four pairing together don't make no sense other than the fact that they needed the match. So we know, like, what is the Universal title picture, Sean? At this point, what is it looking like?
Are you asking me like to actually answer your question?
Yes, like legitimately.
Yeah, I have no clue because Brock only shows up when he feels like it, and I mean, I.
So my question is, look, if you talk yourself into a corner.
I really hope Money in the Bank we don't get another Brock versus Roman match at this point. I really do.
It can't be.
But
there's no way.
But I don't know. I don't know who you put up in there with Brock at this point because there is no angle. They haven't done any story building to have a viable competitor at this point.
Other than Roman, but I feel it. But the Money in the Bank, maybe there might not. I mean, hell, the Universal title might not be on the Money in the Bank because it's a half and half major. It's only major when the Universal's there, and when it's not there, it's important enough to be. But it cannot, like, basically, it can be top 5 year or a top 4 year. If the Universal title's there, it's top 5. If it's not, it's a top 4. But nonetheless, I'm looking at it like this, bro. That tag match is the Universal title picture. Look at it. Maybe Finn if they ever stop sleeping, and maybe Rollins if they don't treat him really like HBK. The best thing that ever happened for Seth Rollins is that Dolph Ziggler came to Raw, because now Dolph Ziggler can play HBK, I sell for others, and Seth Rollins can be HBK, I finally win. Because Seth is in a very dangerous place right now, especially since he's not 6'7", 300 pounds. So I feel like that match embodies throwing Finn here and there to lose, throwing Seth, and those 4 people in that match. That's the Universal title picture. I don't know who it is, but one of them, and then of course Roman. I don't know who it is, but one of them eventually beat Brock. If it's Lashley, if it's, maybe they'll have Brock beat Lashley, so then, like, I feel like they're just gonna keep on feeding Brock people until they finally feel they're gonna keep on feeding Brock victims, and they're gonna keep on stomping on Roman's neck until you just so tired of watching Roman get his ass whooped. Like, because at this point, Roman's at the point where you're not just gonna be like, oh, he's garbage, throw him away, because we all expecting we're just waiting for Vince to flip the switch, like, he got the bell, bitch. But we don't, like, once again, we're just fans. Maybe they're smarter than us. They don't know we don't know what the fuck they gonna do. These niggas had a pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia and built it like it was the second coming of WrestleMania and gave us a house show. We don't know what these niggas be on. Like, like, whatever happened,
I mean,
whatever
I'll throw
we
one at
think.
you. I'll throw a curveball at you. Money in the Bank. Brock defends his title in a 2-minute squash match against Jinder Mahal to get the match we didn't see at Survivor Series.
I could see, and you know what? I could see the fuck out of that. To finally kill the modern day Maharaja character, I could see that.
But I agree with you. I mean, outside of Roman, and I love Joe, but Joe's on SmackDown now anyway, so he really not in that picture anyway anymore.
Openly.
So other than Roman, the only real major competitors that I can see in the picture are Lashley, because he's a similar build to Brock in the big physical MMA background, you know, character. Braun, because he's fucking Braun and he's over as hell with the fans. And then Sammy and Kevin, because even though they're heels, they are very well liked by the fans and they are good workers, to be completely honest. And then, like you said, maybe Finn or Seth if they decide to give them that extra nudge, but that's debatable in and of itself. So, I mean, unless they bring someone up to challenge Brock or someone comes back from injury, like, I don't know what Dean Ambrose's timetable is on him coming back or anything like that.
Okay, but let's be real. The way that this Brock character is built right now, name a character like you already said it. We don't even have to be real. You already said it. Rewind about 5 minutes, folks, and you'll see the Don say that there's nobody that has a realistic chance in storyline to fight Brock Lesnar. And they don't. Even if you bring up Lars Sullivan, Aleister Black, Almas, he just bullshitting on when he gonna hit the SmackDown floor. Whoever the fuck comes up, who has enough clout to go up against this nigga? He destroyed Roman two pay-per-views in a row. He ended the streak. He broke his neck and still won the match. It's Brock Lesnar. Like,
yeah, I mean,
this nigga got a whole
Cena can do but Cena has been put on the back burner nowadays, to be honest. Like, for all the talk and all the hate, that John Cena gets, and I understand why people hate John Cena, because if you were a fan from 2006 to now, you got nauseous to your stomach seeing how much John Cena was in the main event of every single pay-per-view. The guy has tied Ric Flair, or is one away from tying Ric Flair? I think he has tied Ric Flair now.
They both got 16.
Yeah, so they both got 16 world titles.
For the credit they give Rick, even though Rick got more.
It's nauseating. But if you look at the last 2 years particularly, John Cena hasn't been the main event guy. He really hasn't. He's taken more of a backseat role. He's wrestling for the US title, or wrestling on the undercard with him and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice. Like, he's not this superstar, I have to be in the main event guy anymore. And the people who hate him, I understand why they hate him. I understand where it comes from. But if they're being honest with themselves, they really have no reason to hate him anymore. It's just that previous bitterness that they won't let it go, because John Cena isn't that guy anymore. I honestly can't even see John Cena getting a title shot against Brock, because he hasn't earned it.
It's not even in my mind that that's happening. He's chasing the Undertaker.
He's an afterthought. Like, I just brought him up out of randomness because of his credibility. Like you said, who has the clout? John Cena is the only one who has the clout, but he's an afterthought because he hasn't been relevant in years.
Well, the funny thing to me is that, like, I see John Cena as a part-timer, even though he's
a part-timer, exactly. He's basically Brock Lesnar 2.0. He shows up when he feels like it at this point.
He shows up, I can't say he's 2.0. He shows up a lot more than Brock do, but...
I mean, yeah, he do, but still. I mean, Bobby, I said, would actually make probably a good match with Brock if they booked it correctly and didn't have Brock squash him immediately, which, knowing Brock, he could very easily just throw his weight around and say, well, if you got me going against Lashley, I'm going to do a 2-minute squash match with him, because Brock can do that shit.
Once again, the twisted mindset of your boy Jose. If I'm Vince McMahon, I'm going to step to both of these niggas like, okay, so look, both of y'all so thirsty that y'all been trying to go get this UFC money, right? So what if I bring back some bullshit gimmick like the Fall Brawl or the Octagon or the Lion Den matches, and I really put on, what if I throw a UFC match for you niggas in the WWE? How y'all feel about that? Y'all gonna fight for real? I can get the money. I'm Vince McMahon. I can get the money. Please believe that. Y'all gonna fight for real? Y'all want to go do y'all want to go do it all the time. Y'all want to go get the check. I can pay more.
They can't.
I can
They
pay
can't
more.
do it. They can't do the UFC because that would be copyright. But you know what they?
Lions Den. Lions Den match.
Yeah. I was gonna say they could do the Pride Grand Prix instead of the King of the Ring.
There you go.
I mean, hell, New Japan already does that with the G1 Climax tournament.
Right.
It's the same damn thing. It's just wrestling instead of MMA. So,
True shit.
yeah, I mean, they definitely could do something like that. I don't know who else would be in the motherfucker other than Bobby Lashley and, you know, Brock. But
well, I mean, I was just mean like a stipulation match where they made it like, okay, oh, so both, you know, Vince.
Oh yeah. I
Vince,
got you.
You know, Vince on some. Well, actually, this would be more of a William Regal card. That would be a William Regal move to blow down.
That would be
like,
a William Regal stipulation.
to
You said
blow
you all
down.
want to fight so bad. Let's see you do it for real. Yeah. So we spent way too much time talking about this match, but yeah, 2 stars. Basically a waste of damn time, other than to see Braun do some crazy Braun shit. Which was, of course, hilarious because anytime Braun does some crazy Braun shit, it's funny. But yeah. So on to the main event, I guess. I still don't know what's going on with the Universal title. I guess that's what we have the Raw after for, right? Or they might not even talk about it. They might not even talk about it for another 3 weeks and make us wait and be like, oh, by the way, Brock is having a title match against this person. Or it could be Brock isn't going to show up to Money in the Bank. So who knows? But main
the
event.
thing is, you already know him. He getting $500K a match as a pay-per-view. As a logical person, you know he's only getting 4 matches a year. Vince not paying him no more than $2 million to show up, and I didn't even include the money that he go get if he show up to Raw and SmackDown. So we pretty much we can pretty much chalk him up for other than this year, maybe the Raw after SummerSlam, and that's about it. He probably not gonna be on no more TV episodes. And when it comes to pay-per-views, SummerSlam and Survivor Series, honestly, that's $1 million right there.
Right, yeah, and those are the ones that make sense because if you do it at SummerSlam, that gives them a lot more time to figure out who the #1 contender is and actually build storyline. And if you do it and he has to have a match in Survivor Series because they'll do the Raw versus SmackDown thing. It'll be whoever the Universal Champion is versus whoever is the WWE Champion for SmackDown. So whoever that is at that time, whether it's Nakamura, whether it's still AJ Styles, whoever it might be, has to go against Brock, assuming Brock is still Universal Champion at that time.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, though, if Brock does lose the belt before then he won't be at Survivor Series because he ain't showing up for a damn Raw men's match, the damn Survivor Series match.
Oh no, true
he
shit.
Ain't showing up.
Yeah, but I feel like Brock will lose. To me, if it happens like that, Brock's going to lose to AJ in Survivor Series as an anniversary match of champion versus champion. AJ wins his time. That starts the decay. So by Mania, then Roman takes the belt. Because at the end of the day, we know who the fuck's getting that belt. We know who the fuck's getting that belt. Right, we know we're not that dumb. I don't give a fuck how smart you think you is.
Long-term booking is that Roman gets the belt. It's just a matter of time.
He's going to, put it this way, if I'll say it right here, right now, on motherfucking for people to see me, if Roman Reigns, it is 2018 and it's in the spring, we're in May.
Right.
By May of 2000, and we're in 18, so the World Cup is this year. That means 19, 20, 21, 22. By 2002, by the next World Cup, if for 2022, sorry sir, 2022, if for some reason this fucker Roman Reigns has not gotten the belt, Universal title. Like this is what I'm saying. Like it's going to happen. So this really is some shit that I shouldn't say. But I'm so so ridiculously confident in the fact that he's going to get this belt at some point. Like we know he's going to get this belt. That if by the next World Cup, after this World Cup, whoever wins the World Cup, I will get their national colors dyed into my hair, beard, and mustache. So if Ireland wins, I will get orange hair, a white beard, or a white mustache, and a orange or a green beard. I would do any nation that wins, because I know this is getting this goddamn title at some point. I don't give a fuck how long they stretch this shit out. That man is going to get this belt at some point.
Right. Which brings us to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe.
I like to say, shout out Samoa Joe.
Yeah, your waterfalls. We had a waterfall rule for the Kakina clutch.
Yeah, you know what?
And
I just like to hit a disclaimer. Yeah. All the shit I've been talking tonight, y'all can blame this on shit on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe.
Y'all need to stop fucking over Samoa Joe on the real. Like WWE, I'm talking to you right now. Stop fucking my man's over, please. This man deserves a title, like some title. Give him the U.S. title, give him the IC title, whatever.
Give him the cruiserweight belt.
I mean, I don't think he qualifies for the weight class. But,
hey, Buddy Murphy at cruiserweight. Joe can go get a diet real quick.
You silly. But give him something. At least put him in a title match. The guy's been in one title match this whole damn time, where he was in a title match against well, I shouldn't say that because I don't remember if he was in like an IC match with Roman Reigns or something like that. But
nope, he got hurt before the match.
He had one title match against Brock, which was the Universal title match, and Brock pretty much squashed him. So yeah, y'all need to stop disrespecting my man Joe. But anyway, Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe, it was pretty much what I expected. I did like Joe attacking him before the match even started and throwing him through the damn table. That was great.
Uranagi.
But yeah, the Uranagi, yeah. And throwing him over both the announcer tables, and then finally throwing him back in the ring. And then, of course, Roman being Roman, he's like, oh, I can still fight. I don't need to be, you know, I can still fight. Ring the bell. And then Joe just starts opening up on his ass and throwing them jabs and all that shit.
Damn,
physical match to be complete, you know.
So weak after that.
Physical match.
I can fight. So Roman Reigns was pretty much Rocky. That's what they trying to do.
Roman Reigns was Rocky.
Roman Reigns is Shane McMahon with long hair.
Basically.
If Shane McMahon was a Samoan, he'd be Roman Reigns. I figured it out. That's the code. Y'all learned it here tonight. You thought Jericho was the code breaker? No. That's just Pop. But he taught me well, and I broke the code. Fucking... fucking... Roman Reigns makes... Or Shane McMahon makes Roman Reigns look like Jesus to Vince McMahon. and so he wants to turn Roman Reigns into Vince. He wishes Roman married... We thought he trying to be the new Cena. No, he wants Roman to be the new Hunter. It's deeper than that. It's so much deeper. Oh, stay woke, you WWE universe.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
He wishes that Roman was getting up in Stephanie. I get what you're going with this.
Yeah.
Oh man, because that would literally be his wet dream. Because then he'd have a McMahon Samoan bloodline.
He would have a Samoan baby.
Oh my god! And then that motherfucker
that nigga would be the
that would be the goat. That would be the true goat right there. That motherfucker would win the belt at 18 years old and never lose the belt. He would break every record imaginable. Longest reign? Nah, move over, Bruno. I'm gonna have this bitch for 5,000 days straight.
A Samoan McMahon.
Oh
Oh
no,
my
that's
God.
and man, no. The funny thing is, we kept joking about how Hunter and Stephanie's daughters are going to be the greatest females ever.
But we're not playing
Man,
though. Oh,
but we're not playing. But
but the thing
Roman,
is
oh
though,
man,
they really will be though. They really will
they
be
probably
though.
will be. They probably
Especially
will. They
especially
probably.
as women wrestlers. Oh yeah, they're going to
Oh
be.
yeah, they're
Especially
going
if
to be great.
if
But
they're going to make tag belts just for them to get them when life
right,
comes around.
exactly.
Like
No
we need to
bullshit.
put tag belts out now so the girls can get them when they get it old
So the
enough to
girls can
get
get
them.
them when they get involved. Exactly.
But
Yeah, on to the match. We got sidetracked doing our reality TV skit there. So Roman versus Joe
welcome to
pretty
the
much
petty
went
review.
right. Welcome to the petty review. That's all I can say. Roman versus Joe pretty much went as expected. Physical match. Joe definitely was the main reason why we're slightly intoxicated at this point, because we had a rule that however long Joe had the Kikino clutch on Roman, we had to waterfall our beers. And let's just say he had this man in a waterfall for like a solid 2 minutes straight at one point. So, yeah. Definitely killed like 2 beers during that match. But
No bullshit.
no bullshit, I'm not exaggerating. I'm pretty sure Roman died, and then like Joe squeezed him so hard that he defibrillated him with his biceps. So
That's when he got possessed by Vince McMahon and jumped out the sucking place. Roman Reigns is in the sucking place. Vince McMahon is in his body.
God damn it.
I was. Don't tell me you didn't think about it before when you watched the movie. You know it. You know you see it. You know it. You seen Roman Reigns. First thing you seen when you watched Get Out was, damn, that's Roman Reigns. All you thought, because Vince.
I definitely never thought that before.
Why not?
Okay.
XFL my ass. He ain't trying to build the XFL. He just need a reason to be going. Stop playing. You think Roman get buried on accident?
I'm dying right now. We're gonna rewatch this shit when you're sober, and you're gonna be like, "What was I on?" With these crazy ass, you sounded like sis right now with the conspiracy theories.
Right.
Oh God!
It's
All
all
right.
make-
So
it's all
anyway,
making sense
look,
to
we
me
need
right
to
now.
wrap this shit up. All right. So long
We on the
story
main
short,
event. We on the main event.
we on the main event finally, but Roman wins the match with a spear. And yeah, so pretty physical match. It was not by any means the best match, but it wasn't terrible. I mean, it's hard to have a terrible match with Joe. Joe's gonna put on a good show, so I gave it 3 stars.
And I gave it
two Vince McMahon grapefruit-sized nutsacks.
I gave it 3 as well. It was average. It was cool. It wasn't a good average. It was just average.
Right. It was a solid, like, if you went to the club and you had a couple drinks and you're like, she a 5, but I had a couple drinks, so it's doable. That's what it was.
Right. But so now the last thing I had to touch on, and what I was basically insinuating on, was that now I wasn't
Why
involved.
this pay-per-view sucked ass?
Why this pay-per-view sucked ass. I wasn't involved in last year's Backlash because, as Joe will find out in SummerSlam, the festivities will be wonderful. But until SummerSlam shows up, and you find out why the festivities will be what I just did, you'll know that I didn't fuck with the game back then. You heard? So I didn't know that Ginger won the belt and did all this debauchable shit back then. All I know is this is my first Backlash, and the reason that it sucked was because of the GRR. The GRR made it to where there was no time for storylines to develop. The whole big cast thing, the whole, I mean, pretty much every storyline on the thing, other than the WrestleMania rematches, all revolved around we're trying to hype up that we're going to be co-branding pay-per-views.
Yeah, I mean, the only matches that actually had a storyline were Rollins and Miz, who have been going at it for months.
Months.
Bliss and Nia, who
Months.
had their match at WrestleMania. Yeah, so that had
Rematch.
months of build up as well. And
Right.
then
A AJ and Knock Knock
the
rematch.
AJ and Knock Knock rematch, and then Joe and Reigns, who have been going at it basically since Joe came onto the scene when he got called up from NXT last year.
Right, and
So
then and then
all of those matches had numerous time to build onto the storyline of why they're fighting. The rest of them, not really.
right. And yeah, so
I
basically,
can't tell you why Braun and Lashley were wrestling Sam and Kevin. I have no idea
right.
why that was even a match.
Other than RIP to the tag divisions, because the one tag match on the pay-per-view had nothing to do with a tag team. So
That tag title match, yeah.
yeah,
It wasn't
but
a
I
tag
mean
title match.
a tag team period though. What them niggas, Sammy and KO are not a tag team. Well, they're a faction of two dudes who are friends from Canada, and just because you don't know what to do with them, they always end up having to fight together because they've been going raging against the machine for a year, and now they're doing the same
Yeah.
thing, but you're changing up what they're gonna do, but you have to split
Yeah,
them up
which,
for a
by
reason.
the way, we didn't touch on that during the match, but then they had the whole thing with them breaking up because they turned on each other at the end of the match. But
Right.
anyway.
Right, but no, that's not. We did touch on that because remember I said that's why I said that is the universal title picture. We know Bobby Lashley and Braun on a tag team. That's why they purposely gave us Nicholas, because if they put them together, then we would be expecting them to have a collision course with the leaders of worlds, and it would make sense for the leaders of worlds to take on these behemoths and defend the titles. But nonetheless, they're not going to do that. Those two probably, I mean, they're not going to turn on each other, but I can see a program with them coming. And then the other two, Sammy and KO, obviously they're going to start a program pretty much damn near immediately. What we thought the WrestleMania what we were going to get, we're going to get it at SummerSlam. But that's why the pay-per-view sucked, because GRR destroyed storylines. There was no way to really build them up. They had to throw in little fake storylines here and there, poor big cast and other guys of that nature. Um, so really, you got to really kind of look at this as the start of the season, for lack of a better word. From now until the next WrestleMania, this is what matters. Everything before that didn't really mean shit because they really were kind of trying to give you. They were really just doing a lot of advertisement. You know, we doing international pay-per-views along with co-branding pay-per-views that are going to be from here on out, and Brock's getting a new contract, and we still got to build up Roman, and that pretty much just been the narrative since the beginning of the year. So now we're going to get to see where this is going, and once we already touched on which constant storylines we're going, and a few of them. But we know not getting AJ is something we're going to keep on seeing. We're going to keep on seeing Roman in pursuit of the title, but it looks like he's going to get beat up a lot more. And then Braun is just like, what are we doing with Braun? I mean, he has an invisible belt and a trophy that magically shows up at the ringside every time he wrestles now. Other than that, so he has anime abilities. Other than that, I don't know what we're doing with Braun. So Raw, very confusing. SmackDown, not as confusing. Bobby Lashley, are you part of Titus Worldwide? Because that means I could actually get to go and say, oh, glorious worldwide. And then I
You
would
mean
be,
Bobby Roode, not Bobby Lashley?
yeah, Bobby. I just said Bobby. I don't remember saying the last name. If I
No,
did,
you said
I did.
Lashley.
Okay, well, I didn't mean it. I meant Rude, because I think Rude is now officially part of Titus Worldwide. And everybody might hate that. And they might think Bobby is dead after this. But I'm telling you now, Rumble, Stumble, Slide, glorious worldwide. Hold on, though. So, do we have anything else to touch? I don't think we have any other points to really hit home.
No, just well, aren't we gonna try to do the dual simulcast when I come up at the end of the month?
That's, what is that? End of the year, the race. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So we have advertisement to do. So end of the month will be, what is that? Y'all know Memorial
That's
Day.
May 26th, 27th, 28th, all that shit.
Okay, so
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend, May something. Catch your boy Jose the Don and the Petty One. If you joined late, rewind to the beginning. You'll hear the Petty One give reviews before he started snoring. Go ahead and catch us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to have all three of us on cam. If not, we'll have at least two of us on cam and then a simulcast with the Petty One. You know, recovering. We'll do something. If we ain't doing the list, or if there is no review to do, then we'll figure something out. But we going to hop on the mic and act belligerent for y'all all in one. And then after that, we will. I mean, well, I won't say we will, but if the stars align, 1 year anniversary will be the SummerSlam Petty Review weekend. We will all be in simultaneous area and all be there to be on cam at the same time, and you can see all the debauchery unfold. We'll be doing the drinking game, the reaction show before the NXT and the SummerSlam, so you can watch us as we get lit and figure out why we act like we act right now. I say, yeah, so you can drink with us. Hold on. Yeah, but was that
And
it?
then, of course, next Petty Review, June 17th. It'll be for Money in the Bank. We'll do a Petty Review for... Either we'll do two separate Petty Reviews, one for NXT and one for the Money in the Bank, or we'll just combine them into one big pay-per-view review like we usually do, one or the other.
Right. It all depends on how we feel and if motherfuckers can stay awake. I said you heard. But until then, we will be back just when he said in June, Money in the Bank. No. So until then, this is your boy Jose Inc. And trying to down say goodbye to the people like and subscribe. But until the next time, I say hold on, and we out.